Utah is such a beautiful state, from its green luscious forests to the red rocky deserts down south. It's home to 5 national parks and 43 state parks. The beauty of Utah should be admired by millions, but it also needs to be preserved. Preserved by building more sustainably. The two main ways to get to Utah are by flying or by driving. I mean, sure, there's only one train that comes into Utah, but that's only at night. I firmly believe that Utah was and still is the crossroads of the West, and yet, whenever I see proposed train lines from Amtrak, Utah is just an afterthought, or it's missed completely. Other Western states see the same thing, like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. I think it's sad because I don't think most people see the potential of rail, more specifically high-speed rail. The Wasatch Front could definitely use more rail. Las Vegas, Nevada, that desperately needs rail. Boise, Idaho, doesn't even have rail. Not only do I want to bring more rail to Utah and the western United States, I want to build urbanism. Whatever happened to walkable cities? I want Utah to be the nation's leading example of urbanism. Yes, we can change cities to be more sustainable. We can be less car dependent. I just want to change the public's mind that cars are a scam. They really are. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like cars. I consider myself a car enthusiast. And I see the importance of them, or the importance they once had. I'd like having all sorts of cars. But for everyday life, Americans, we shouldn't be needing a car to go places to get basic needs like groceries. Even accessing medical services or just traveling from city to city, it shouldn't be necessary to have a car for daily life. That's how it was before the age of cars, was to walk around everywhere. What happened to that? Whatever happened to the lifestyle? Urban sprawl is just killing cities. It's making them go into debt. And with all these parking requirements, they've just killed, and I mean killed, the downtown charm cities once had. And that's why I started Rockymountainrailways. More than just this one company, real estate's a given, but I'm also going into the energy and telecommunications industries. I think one big issue, in my opinion, that most Americans don't see, is because many of us live in cities, is that rural America, they just don't have access to fast, reliable, and affordable internet. It's mainly satellite internet out there. There's only one company that's decently good, and that's Starlink. In this day and age, having internet is important to have. The speeds out there are slow, they're very expensive, and they're just plagued with connection interruptions. These rail lines, they're going to be going to and through rural communities, and so that's why all the tracks are going to have optic fibers running alongside it. My goal is to have all the tracks laid to be covered. For one, weather wouldn't be that big of an issue, but most importantly, I'm going to have solar panels on top of there. Imagine having a solar panel grid from Las Vegas, Nevada, all the way up to Portland, Oregon via I-15 and I-84. That's just so much energy to be collected. Alongside the tracks, there will be batteries to store all this energy. At first, we'll have the bare minimum just to keep the trains running at night, but as time goes on and battery technology improves, hopefully one day the entire rail network will be covered in batteries and truly become an energy provider. I just want to mention, I plan on building these tracks in the middle or adjacent to interstate freeways. Interstates, they already go from big city to big city, and since they're government owned, land acquisition would be cheap or hopefully granted to me just to reduce costs. As you leave all the metropolitan areas, all these interstates, they have this strip of land in the middle that divides the highway, so why not make use of that land? Some places already do, like the Rail Runner in New Mexico, along I-25 and Brightline, they're going to build right in the middle between Las Vegas to Los Angeles. Many places in the country are experiencing a housing crisis, and Utah is no exception, let alone affordable places to live. But there is a solution that really isn't here in the US, and I want to bring non-market housing here. Not to be confused with low housing income. Non-market housing isn't subsidized by the government, and so it'll be available to anyone, regardless of income. Like here in downtown Salt Lake, rent rates, on average, it's like $1,700. It's for a 1 bedroom, and it's not going to be in good condition. Just imagine paying almost half of that for a 2-bedroom apartment. But not just cheap rates for housing, but also low rates for businesses. I would like to see more locally owned businesses here in downtown Salt Lake. It's just absurdly expensive to operate here. And yeah, I do want to attract all the chain stores and restaurants that aren't really here in the area. But that's my main goal, is to see more locally owned businesses. One big thing here, which isn't unique to Salt Lake, is just there's a lot of gentrification here. You can't have someone drive 20 minutes into the city just to work. It's absurd. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to compete with transit agencies. I want to coexist with them and bring them more transit to the US. I want to get the attention of the local, state, and federal governments, but as a company, I also want to attract investors. But most importantly, I want the public support. We the people, we gotta choose what happens to this country and how it gets built. I've never been in Europe before, but I'm jealous. I'm jealous that Europe builds their cities around people, not cars. Just seeing all these videos and just using Google Street Maps, it just looks nice. Not just Europe, but Asia as well. They got really good public transit over there. If you go to those continents, chances are you'll be taking a train. That's why it's just sad to me that the US is so far behind on high-speed rail, being a world power and all. The only high-speed rail we got is the Northeast Corridor. And high-speed rail, it's an alternative to cars and planes. It's the middleman. Faster than cars, but slower than planes. And it just seems like the country doesn't want that. Like small communities in the US, they don't really have access to good, cheap commercial flights. The way I see it, having a high-speed train station somewhere in like Twin Falls, Idaho, or Rock Springs, Wyoming, is just as valuable as having an airport. Or even the big cities like Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm sure they have airports there, but having commercial flights to those places, they're just not a thing. Anyway, this video is just the basic general idea of what I plan on doing. I want to bring high-speed rail to the US, generate my own energy, provide high-speed internet, but most importantly, the reason why I did this is to bring urbanism here to the US. And just before I go, I just want to mention, all lines will at minimum be double-tracked. And I firmly believe in nationalizing all the rail in the US, even if it came out of my own company's pocket. Anyways, if you like this video, I want to see these things come into reality just as much as I do, please share my videos. Just these videos are out there to get people's attention, especially here in Utah. This is going to be a big thing here in Utah. And if you want to see more things in the future and stay up to date, subscribe. If you'd like to invest or even contribute to my company to get things rolling, check the description for more information. Thanks for watching.